Hello, my name is Garrett J. White, the Authentic Entrepreneur, one of the co-founders of an organization called the Paid to Play Academy. Here you'll find personal witness from me, an individual who didn't create the Art of Ascension technique, but merely a student of a technique and a process of allowing you to see the world from a place of certainty and power that you have never found before. Most of my life I had no clue what it was to meditate. I used to use words like ponder. I used to words like think about, or my patterns religiously would take me to certain directions and actions, but I always missed this idea of meditation. In 2007, upon the implosion of my financial empire at that time, I had a spiritual coach by the name of Stephen D'Annunzio. Over the next 2 years, I would try on 10, 12, 13 different techniques of meditation, from Dr. Wayne Dyer's Getting in the Gap, to Japa breath meditation, to transcendental meditation, to across the whole variety of different ways and techniques of trying to accomplish exactly what Eckhart Tolle calls arriving in the power of now. Meditation is a technique. It's a way of liberating the mind. Down below this video, you're going to find plenty of information about what meditation is and what it's not, and particularly a technique that I have found in my life to not only be the most useful form of meditation I've ever experienced, but one that created the least amount of conflict for me and for anyone that I've ever introduced it to. It's a technique that doesn't require you to believe. It's a technique that doesn't require you to believe in it or to believe against it. It's merely something that, when used, creates what the Ashaya call ascension. So as we look at this idea of ascension, meditation then was really about bringing a stillness to the mind. And as Eckhart Tolle said, bringing you into the power of now. But my experience was it was something far greater than this. Here was a comparison I gave. Most of my life day to day, I experience it from the physical plane. The physical plane has a certain way of seeing life. I see money, I see my body, I see my relationships, I see my thoughts, and I see myself and the experience of life from a certain lens. This lens itself is a projection, like a movie theater. I project out, and in that projection I receive a perception. What I project is what I perceive. And so here we are, a bunch of individuals here on planet Earth as human beings, walking around projecting and then perceiving based upon that projection. And that projection and that perception is a function of the state of our minds, our beliefs. Ascension for me was the simplest form of meditation I'd ever experienced. And what it did was it allowed me to ascend. I love to trail run. And this means that I get to run in mountains. And the crazy thing is I live down in the canyon right below Little Cottonwood Canyon here in Salt Lake City, Utah. And when I'm down at my home, there's the traffic and there's the noise, etc. But as I begin to run up the mountain, it's interesting what starts to happen, because what I perceive starts to shift. What I start to see in life starts to become calmer and more peaceful. And ultimately, when I get to the peak of the mountains and I begin to look out across the valley here in Salt Lake City, what I see from that space is something very different than what I saw as I left my front door. Ascension is no different. It's the technique of bringing us higher, allowing us to ascend to a new way of seeing, hence a new way of projecting, and a new way of perceiving. As I ascended from the physical plane to the mental plane, again, here in this space, I see things differently again. Again, looking at the comparison of being halfway up the mountain. The ultimate goal is to get to a place of seeing life from a spiritual lens while still in the physical form. This seems rather complicated, yet it's very simple. And in all the techniques of meditation I have ever tried, in all of the retreats I've ever attended, the Ashaya and the Ashaya order of tradition, for me, has been not only the most effective, but the simplest form I've ever been taught. And it's about assisting you to awaken to you. It's about you connecting with the one place of power and the one place of certainty and the one place of joy that exists in your life, and it's the ascendant within.